In this tutorial, we're going to create a Gitee repository. So we're going to follow these steps, really lazy llamas, H, Chuan, and pizza. First, our remote repository, create our remote repository, then create our local repository, and then link remote and local repository, add our files, commit files, push changes. Let's start with the first one, creating our remote repository. To create our remote repository, we want to go to gitee.com. If we're not already signed in, go ahead and sign in. Once you are signed in, please, let me sign in first. Once you're signed in, you want to click on the plus sign over here and then go to new project, and then to make our project, we just give it a name. Your name cannot have any spaces, and then we make sure we keep the public, but uncheck this setting. So I'm going to uncheck it. We do not want to initialize this repository with a README. And then once all of that is finished, we can click on new. And it is going to create our repository. So we finished with step number 1, remote repository. Now on to step number 2, local repository. So open your terminal, and I'm going to CD into the desktop, and I'm going to make a folder called bubble sort. It's going to be the same name as my remote repository, but it doesn't have to be the case. You can make it a different name. I just like keeping it all simple. So we're going to make bubble sort, CD into bubble sort, and then to create our local repository, we want to write this command, git init. So git init, and I have initialized my local repository. So now that I have a local repository on my computer and a remote repository on Gitee, I want to link the two. And we can link the two using this command right here. So git remote add origin, and then the address of your GitHub repository. Again, you can simply use this, or you can just copy and paste this line. Both are okay. I'm just going to manually type it. Git remote add origin, and then the address of my GitHub repository, or Gitee repository, and it is called bubble sort. So you could just simply copy this line, and it has git at the end of it. You don't have to have git, it's all the same. So git remote origin add, and there it is, my Git repository, and my Gitee repository, and my local repository have been linked. So we have done step number 1, step number 2, step number 3. We are now on add. So to add files, we must have some files in our folder. And we can see that we don't currently have any files in our folder. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this file that I wrote earlier. It's a bubble sort algorithm, bubble sorts. And then now that that has been saved, I can see that it's been saved. I can do git status to check the status of my GitHub Git repository, and we can see that we have a new file here in red. So git status is going to check the status, and it's going to show me untracked files, and in red it's going to show all the files that we've yet to add, or maybe we added before but have since been changed. So I'm going to go ahead and git add, and we can do this. We could simply just say git add dots, and that's going to add all the files in this folder. So both are okay. I'm going to do it this way. And then git status again, and we can see the second time we do git status, we now have changes to be committed, and in green it has bubble sort. So no more red. We now say that this file is ready to be committed. So we have done remote, local, link, add. We are down to commit. So to commit, we just do git commit -m, and then we give it a good commit message. I'm going to say first commit of bubble sort algorithm. And then that's a good commit message. And press enter, and we've created our commit. So now that we've saved on our local repository, I want to go on to the last step, push changes. And once we do this last step, it's going to push the changes we just saved from our local repository onto our Gitee remote repository. So I'm going to run that command, git push origin master, and press enter. Now, before you do this, make sure that you've told your GitHub who you are and your email address. If you haven't, then go ahead and copy this. You only need to do it one time before. I'm just going to make sure. I'm not going to do it, but if you need to, go ahead and do so. So once I've done that, I can do git push origin master. And again, if you need to, if you haven't done so before, go ahead and tell the computer who you are using these two commands. But I'm going to go ahead and press enter to do my push. And you may be asked for a password or a username. Mine doesn't ask me. It already has my username and password saved. So there it is. We're finished. I'm going to refresh just so I can see the updates. And now we will see that I have this file, bubble sort, inside of my Git. And I have first commit of bubble sort, the message that I saved with my Git commit. And I can click on here and we can check out the code. Anybody can go to this URL address and they can see my code. Wonderful. So that's the end of this video. See you guys in the next one.